DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR when you sign up for a new account to get amazing odds boosts every single day. Jesse and Rudo coming to you live as the Avs take on the Nashville Predators. Their first road game in 5-6 games? It's been a minute.
5 games, yeah it's been a sec.
A nice little homestand here. Of course, then they go to Arizona after Christmas. You'll be there for that. So
I'm going to go thaw out a bit. I was looking, it'll be mid-70s.
Must be nice.
Monday, Tuesday. Looking forward to that.
It was
Leave the hoodies at home.
Minus 20 last night or whatever, and that's without the wind chill.
Did you step outside at all just to
yesterday?
Check it? Yeah.
No.
See, I our garage isn't attached, and so I walked out to the garage just because I wanted to see just how cold it was. It took your breath away for sure.
No,
you did the right thing by not going out.
Because I drove home after the game. On Wednesday and was like, cool. So
I get the gist.
I'm at home.
No, did you really?
Oh my!
Is your mic on? Can I hear you say that? Okay. Yaya got stuck.
Yeah.
In the parking lot
after at the bar for an hour.
Shit. Did your car eventually start?
Yeah, I had to put a flame underneath it.
What?
Sure. Thaw it out a little bit.
I was
Thaw it out like legit. Like don't worry, I'm a mechanic. I know what I was doing. I wasn't playing.
You don't have like any of the starter juice? I thought every mechanic always carried that on them. Oh, it wouldn't even turn.
It froze.
Yeah, okay.
Oh shit! His starter froze again. For everyone that's hearing one half of this conversation.
Yep.
It happened to me last night too.
Damn.
Well, hopefully the Avs starter doesn't get frozen tonight.
Wow, what a segue.
They've had a few slow starts of late. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
You'd like to see them. I wouldn't even say get on the board first, but don't give up a grade A chance 45 seconds into a hockey game would be nice.
Yeah. Don't need your goaltender to bail you out.
Immediately.
Right, yeah, right away. Look, you said it there, Rudo. 5-game homestand. I asked Jared Bednar after the game a couple nights ago against Montreal. Not only, obviously, they went 4-1, and that's always good to bank those kinds of points. But I asked him, I said, aside from the wins, aside from the points, how nice was it? How much did they need to just be at home for a week plus? And he said that it was needed. And I think you could see it on that 4-game road trip they were on.
Yeah.
That not only were the injuries taking its toll, but like the group was just out of
ragged
gas.
For sure.
They were just done. And he mentioned, look, we had the Europe trip, all the injuries, and I haven't actually looked at the schedule, but he said we were all talking about it like on every flight. Like it felt like
it'd been every other day for a month and a half.
Right. Like we'd go home for a game and then right back out on the road, or you're home for 2 games, then 3 on the road. And so he said it was nice to be home, especially right now around the holidays. Like I'm sure it was nice for them to get here. You got one more game you got to get through, and then I really do, Rudo, and I don't think we'll get too much into it. I think starting next week, you're going to really start to see a nice influx of reinforcements.
Yep.
Andrew Cogliano and Darren Helm were on the ice today. Helm was in a white jersey, but
just about there.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the first time. I normally wouldn't put much stock in that, but every time Darren Helm has skated by himself for the last couple months, it's been in red.
Yep.
Even though he was on the ice today, essentially by himself, it's him and Cogs. He was in white. Cogliano looked fully good to go. I don't think he misses another game after tonight. Jared said earlier this week that Nate was about a week, maybe a week and a half out. So realistically, you can expect him.
New Year's-ish.
Yeah. So after this break, after this game, you get 3 days off, and then you really should be getting some reinforcements back. So get through one more, and I think you can say it's been a successful pre-Christmas part of the season.
I knew I wasn't cut out to be a professional athlete when I had to spend a week sleeping in hotels, and it's like, this isn't my bed. I can't sleep here. This isn't it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wasn't skilled enough for that.
Well, I mean, dude, we've talked about it a bunch of times, and not to that all this job is making stuff as much about ourselves as we can. So I will.
Yeah.
But I've made the joke. I was at every game in the playoffs, home and road.
Yep.
And I didn't do any of the working out. I didn't do any of the games. I had 0 of the pressure on me. None of the team meetings or video sessions. And getting home after Game 6 in Tampa Bay, I was
just dead.
Yeah. I was my gas tank was on E extra E. We were all joking about it. Peter Baugh, the morning before Game 5 at Morning Skate, he goes, God, I hope they win tonight. I don't think I have another cross-country flight in me. And obviously they didn't. We had to go back.
Had to do it.
But the one thing we were all like joking about at Morning Skate before Game 6 was no matter what happens tonight, one more flight.
Yep.
We got one more flight.
This is the last flight either way.
And that's it. And like you're right, dude. It takes a serious toll.
Forget the physicality of actually playing hockey.
Right. Yeah, it takes a toll. And then you add in that. Then you add in the injuries and the elevated ice time for guys who weren't used to it. Yeah, they needed a stretch here, and they made good use of it as well.
That's why you get stretchered out of the arena on a pallet jack or whatever it was that Jushkin was on.
Dude. Yeah. We were sitting right there as that went by. They're all already wasted, and here comes Val on the back of a flatbed, like a Home Depot cart.
Yeah, I don't know what you would call that, but
they actually took that outside across to the hotel.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Thankfully, Nashville's arena isn't underwater today, so they actually get to play this game. That's a good starting point. AJ made these topics, so we're good. We're winging this today. JT Compher continues to be a key contributor, sticking point for this Avs roster in their top 6 really right now.
Yeah.
We know it's not sustainable, just, barring JT finding another gear that he's never had in his career before.
Which I guess isn't impossible.
It happens for sure, but I don't believe that it's going to until I see it. Let's take a look at it this way, since you're talking about McKinnon coming back. What is Compher's role ultimately on this team? Because we've seen the Avs flex a million different dudes in and out of center. Is Compher headed for third line center, or do you think he ends up on the wing?
So my hot take for the back half of the year is that your ideal setup is you go into the playoffs with JT Compher as your 4C.
Sure, also reasonable.
But I think in the immediate, I actually think until you see Landy back, I think they're gonna try him at 2C for as long as they can.
Okay.
And look, I think he's earned that.
Yeah, he's
runway
played very well. For sure.
He's had the exact start to this season that anytime that you hear people talk about, trade JT Compher, he's this, he's that. This is what we always talk about. Like, this is what he can give you. He can give you some versatility in your lineup. Now, again, to your point, Rudo, how long that sustains, that's the kind of coin flip. But he's been great. I think they're gonna try to use him in this top 6 for as long as they have to, assuming he can stay at this kind of level. Because I think Jared Bednar's really liked what he's brought.
I really, really think a lot of people undervalue versatility in the NHL. And that's
100%.
That's something that JT Compher absolutely brings to the Avalanche lineup. And he's a guy you can move around the lineup instead of a wing getting hurt. And you're going, well, our next wing is Logan O'Connor on 2 left wing. Oh, God.
Right.
I do think it's interesting because I also think you're seeing the Avs groom Alex Newhook to have a little bit of that versatility as well.
I agree.
So, obviously Compher's contract coming up at the end of the year here. Could see a little bit of passing of the torch. But for the moment, yeah, I don't see Bednar shying away from using him in what has been pretty regularly over 20 minutes. As
Rudo, that's such an interesting point about Newhook, because I think you're spot on, and I just think it's really interesting to talk about with this team, because that almost feels like a real point of emphasis for them.
Yeah.
If you're not Nathan McKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, and Gabe Landeskog, you have got to have some versatility to your game.
Yep.
And I actually think, now that I'm sitting here kind of just running through it in my head, I think they've done a great job of that. And I think you're right with Newhook, that they are saying, like, we want you to be able to fill in.
Play anywhere. Yep.
We want you, if there's a hole on this roster, we want you to be responsible enough to fill it. And not that I'm, like, just always looking for shots to bury a guy like Martin Kaut, but, like,
well, the Avs are, so it's fine.
I think JT Compher is a really good player because, look, like even Martin Kaut talks about, like, I want to be more like Logan O'Connor. It's like, yeah, unless something crazy happens, I don't think you're getting there anytime soon, Cowder. But, like, I think a guy like JT Compher is someone that, like, really Martin Kaut should be looking to model his game after. As much as he does, have the try-hard stuff like Logan O'Connor does, like, it's in a different way. He goes to the front of the net. And JT Compher, like, how many times, Rudolph, have we, like, made the joke that if Logan O'Connor has this much more skill, he's JT Compher. If he has this much more skill, he's like a top 6, top
easy
line
25 goal scorer.
Right. And so it's like JT Compher, like, he really, I think, kind of profiles more closely with a Martin Kaut.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see a guy like that find that role, and maybe that's been Martin Kaut's issue, is he's not versatile enough.
Yeah, a little bit stuck behind other guys because he can't rotate around the lineup.
Right. That's also a great way of putting it. Rudo's just on fire right now with the one-liners that are exactly what I think.
I'm a YouTuber. I'm built to make one-liners. That's the whole shtick. So, Compher gonna continue to be critical scoring for the Avs. The other part that I think you really do, not necessarily more point production, but you need to see the Avs D start putting pucks in the net. Yeah. Obviously, Makar has the empty netter, but it's been a while since he's actually beat a goalie. Devon Toews has just 2 goals this year. EJ, the only everyday player on the team that has yet to score a goal. What's it going to take for the Avs D to find the net a little bit more?
Well, I think some of that is going to come back as you get more of your depth back. I think the Avs, so much of their offensive scheme is to run things through their defense, but you have to be able to get the puck there. You have to be able to work it low to high.
Yeah.
The other part of that, too, is it's not necessarily coming from scoring goals, but again, just with some of that lack of depth, the Avs thrive a lot on those shots from the point, traffic to the net, rebounds, tips, things like that. You just haven't had that same kind of...
They really have struggled finding offensive rebounds, I would say.
Right,
yeah.
and that's where I feel like you'll see some of that coming back as you continue to get these forwards back. But look, again, I'm not trying to, like, make the excuses here, but part of what makes the Avs so dynamic is the fact that their defensemen get to be an extension of their potent offense. Well, with so much of that offense depleted right now, it's really easy for teams to key in on guys like Cale Makar. Like, if you watch the way that teams are D'ing up on Cale Makar right now, they're basically saying, take the outside, take the point. We're just not going to give you the middle of the ice. When you've got other guys out there that are causing mismatch issues, it is really hard for teams to give Cale Makar the perimeter.
Yep. And power play 1, I think, exemplifies it perfectly. I know we just talked up JT Compher, but you look at that power play unit, and other teams say, yeah, if JT beats us, he beats us. We're taking out Makar and Mikko. We're not letting those dudes beat us.
Don't let those 2 dudes beat us, and we'll take our chance. Like you said, it's not that JT Compher, not that means anything goes against what we just said, but yeah, it's like, cool. If JT Compher beats us clean from the slot, then JT Compher beats us clean from the slot. We're not going to give him away. That's very different when you've got
Nathan McKinnon,
Gabe Landeskog, Mikko Rantanen, Cale Makar, and then Val parked in the middle. It's like, yeah, you have to respect each of those equally. So they're just, Cale Makar, I was joking on TDSP with Adam that, like, what is he at point total? Is he at 20?
It's right around half a point per game, if you're asking JT.
No. I'm sorry, Cale.
Oh, yeah, he's at exactly point per game or something like that.
It's so funny because Cale has 29 points in 31 games, and if you talk to almost anyone, it's like,
he's got so much more in the bag.
Tough start for Cale. And so, like, it is just funny that, like, teams can key on him a little bit more, and it really, to me, just proves how dominant he really is, that being the primary focal point on the ice, he's a point per game player from the defensive end.
That's not good enough.
Right. But, part of what made them such an offensively dominating team is how well they complemented each other and how every player freed up space for the next player. And that was true on every line because you had a similar, like, skill level mismatch just at every tier. Your first line was this much better than their first line. And your second line was this much better than their second line, and so on and so forth. And that caused there to be more space for the D to create. Right now, you are really asking Cale Makar to both lead the rush and be, like, the first player back.
Yeah.
And same with Devon Toews. And I don't think that they have as much room to be as offensively involved right now.
Agree. All right, we can keep this rolling as we're running along here. Blaze sent in some bets. Did we get them in? I don't know. I remember I'm about to make some up. Yeah.
I got you.
He's got him.
He's got him?
He's got him.
Shit.
Well, Blaze agrees with Kale's got to put one in the back of the net, clearly. Plus 265 for Kale. That's pretty good money.
Yep.
It's pretty good money for that. Miko shots on goal continues to be actual free dollars right now. Just keep betting that one until Nathan McKinnon gets healthy, I think.
Yeah.
And then Georgiev over 26.5 saves. Yeah, I mean, right now, if the Avs want to win games, their goalie has to be very, very good. It's just the reality. Hopefully he is for the Avs. Is tonight the night that the Avs actually break out and start scoring some goals, Jesse? How much longer can they go with these 1-0, 2-1 style hockey games?
You know what? I'm actually going to say no. I'm going to say they win this one in a like a 4-2 type game with an empty netter, maybe.
I mean, I'll take that.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not an explosion of goals.
Right. But I don't think it's quite tonight. I think after they get 3 days to recharge your batteries here, you come out
Some fresh
and you'll
legs
see
and
you'll see a
go.
big offensive
Okay.
explosion next week. I really do. I think this because 3 players and Jared Bednar said this explicitly to me. They are focusing on defense first. Take care of our own end first, and we'll let our offense translate on the other side. So I don't think they're going to be making a hard push to have that big offensive explosion. It's let's get one more good win against a team that shoots in volume. You know Matt Duchene is going to be good for one tonight.
We'll score a third period goal that potentially meaningless one way or another.
Right. It'll be enough that you're like, oh, is this a game? And then, and I think they'll be able to come out on top. Look, you need one more big game from Miko. Yeah. You'd like to see a big game from Kale, and then just get one goal from some depth playing. Depth. What am I trying? Am I like having a fucking stroke here? One more depth goal. Well, and I think you're feeling good.
You said you got 3 days off to rest the legs, have them fresh later. That means leave it all out there tonight, right?
Yep.
Just go hard.
You got no reason to pull up for anything. You're going to Arizona after that. You get to warm up a bit.
Yep.
Playing a new arena. It's something new, different, exciting. That means something for these guys a bit. You should have a nice few days here. Get a win. Don't go into this with a bad taste in your mouth.
All right, perfect. We're going to wrap it up there. No watch along today because the Nuggets are also playing, so we don't want to overlap with them. But we will be live post-game no matter what. Break it all down for you, whatever happens. And, of course, follow DNVR_Avalanche on Twitter. I'll be making memes and inappropriate jokes on there tonight, so hope to see you on that one. We will talk to you after the game.